What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Before we get started fishing, I'm going to be reviewing the new boat. Some of you may know, or at least follow me on Instagram, you probably know that I got a new boat. I upgraded from a 1989 Bass Bomber to a 2019 8R Pro, I think is what it is. It's the aluminum Ranger boat, 20 foot long. Came with, I actually bought it off of a guy in Washington, Indiana, and he had it pretty well tricked out, and I was just lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time when he's wanting to sell it. Anyway, so I actually kept the same setup, everything that he had. One thing I may change in the near future is getting some power pulls, but we'll kind of see how that goes. I don't really fish the style that needs power pulls most of the time, but anyway, I figured I'd give you guys a quick review about what I like about it and what I don't like about it. The things that I like about it are, that list is a lot longer than the stuff that I don't like about it, and it's just some minor things here and there. But overall, I highly recommend this boat to anybody looking for a new boat. It definitely keeps up with some of the newer fiberglass boats, and just some things that you know, I'm just gonna go over here now. So first off, we're gonna talk about some electronics. I've got two 9-inch Garmin's at the bow, and then at the console, and then two 9-inch at the bow as well. One is running the live scope, and I'm actually using the Garmin force trolling motor as well. Right now I've got it on spot lock. Actually, I really like, sorry about the wind, I really like the Garmin force. You can tell we're kind of in a, it's probably about a 10-mile-an-hour wind, and sit back down here. It's about a 10-mile-an-hour wind, and it is holding us very well. It's very quiet. I really love the trolling motor. The one thing that I don't like about it is this button right here. Can't tell if you can see that, but I have a zip tie around mine. My foot was always bumping that thing when I first started getting it, and I was like, I'm done with this. So I zip tied it. I kind of think that's a little bit ridiculous for the price that you pay for a Garmin force, but it is still a really nice trolling motor. It is very quiet, super quiet, and super powerful. It is really nice. This one can be 36 volt or 24 volt. I'm actually running it off of 3 lithium batteries. Lithium, I think the brand is Ionic. These things, let me tell you, if you're thinking about going to lithiums, the price is there, I understand that, but I fished 3 days in real foot in some heavy winds, and I think the lowest it got down to was 85%, and we were using the trolling motors the whole time there. We were barely ever running. But the other thing that took some getting used to on the trolling motor side is it is not a cable driven trolling motor. It is a controller, like a foot controller. Some people like it, some people don't. It definitely took a little bit of getting used to. I came from an Ultrex, and it's, you know, your standard cable driven trolling motor. Very nice, but it took some getting used to. Now, after having used it for 6 months, it's like second nature. It's almost like nothing's changed. It does have a little bit of a delay. I think I can edit that, but right now I've just gotten used to what I have. So let's get into, so that's the trolling motor and the electronics. I am running live scope. I'm just running the 32 version. I don't have the 34. I don't really plan on getting the 34 at the moment unless I stumble across a really good deal. But let's go for the storage. So you've got two main storage compartments here and here. They're actually both rod lockers. I've got one rod locker here. This is the main one that I use. I think I have I've had up to 18 poles in here, and I just line the sides with my tackle, with my soft plastics. Here is another another storage area. I've got a bunch of boxes in there and have a lot more space for some additional boxes. I'm actually thinking about moving the plastics out of here, putting them in containers and lining them in there, and then having some additional spots here open for it. There is kind of my terminal tackle and crappie stuff and bluegill stuff, kind of a mess. It does bounce around in there pretty decent when we're traveling, and that's a cooler and a junk drawer, really. I'm not going to show you guys that, but it is a very nice cooler. We've had ice in it for a couple days, be it that it was 32 degrees outside. But yeah, this one does not have the waterproof step and storage container. Would it be nice? Yeah, sure. Does it really matter? Not really. But just a little storage container there. 3 seats. Obviously this one, I actually really like how this one folds down and can be a step or a seat, just in case you're taking out some family members or some other people. We actually had 4 people in here yesterday fishing, no, 2 days ago, fishing out of it, and it was a lot more spacious than I would have thought. You can get comfortably 2 people up here fishing and comfortably another 2 back here. I think we could probably get 1 more up here if we were being real strategic with it, but that's, you know, kind of my thoughts on it. The back here has 2 storage containers. I wish these were bigger, but they are waterproof. They're both the same size, could be used for additional storage on tackle, or if you're fishing tournaments, you could use it as co-angler storage spots as well. Speaking of co-anglers and just sides here, move the net around a little bit, but you've got 4 little rod holders here. I'm confident you can hold more than 4, but there's that. Another complaint that I have experienced in Indiana, you have to have an oar or a paddle on board. This boat, I think if I moved my plastic, it would be good, but for this size of paddle, there's not a good spot to kind of store it. And for the net, kind of a pain in the butt for the net too. Minor things, but you know, obviously you can lay them to the side and put the net down low. Something that, you know, if I'm just nitpicking at some point in time. Live well, big live well. And one thing that I really like about this live well is the removable centerpiece. The reason why I like that is sometimes I like to fish for walleye, and they're longer than what this little spot here would provide you. So you could probably take that out and lay some big walleye in there, catfish, or, you know, if you just want to take it out, you can take it out too. But the divider is nice because, again, tournaments, and you can divide your catch up, small side, big side, or you know, co-angler, angler. Back of it, the back of it has all my ionic batteries. You know, kind of basic back there. Really like the ionics. Fantastic batteries. Don't think I'll ever own another boat without having lithiums on it. And then let's see, what else is that? Oh, the motor. I've got the Mercury Pro XS. This is the 4-stroke. That's what came stock on this boat. Very nice motor. It's something that I am not usually accustomed to. I ran a 2-stroke on my last one, very loud, kind of smoked a little bit, but that's kind of what 2-strokes are known for. This is super quiet and it's easy on gas. I think I had this thing out 6 times before I needed to fuel up. Now, I wasn't running all over God's green earth, but somebody told me, actually the previous owner told me, that he could run 90 miles on a tank of gas. I think a tank of gas is right at 30 gallons. So, you know, kind of take that as it is. It sounds like it's at wide open throttle, you could probably get 3 miles to the gallon, which, you know, to me, it's pretty good. And you don't have to yell to talk over it, which is really nice as well. Let's see, just your standard control units here, you know, nothing fancy, just some little lights and whatnot, switches for that. Top speed on this boat that I have got it up to is about 53 miles an hour. I think it's got a little bit more. I think with some chop on the lake, you could probably get a little bit more out of that. Let's see, those are mostly the good things. Kind of the bad things about it, like I said, storage in the back is kind of iffy. I would like it to be bigger. It's got plenty of space to be bigger, but I'm sure later models may have addressed that. I do like that almost all the compartments are waterproof. They have a like a sealed lip on it. It's very nice. Bad things though, let's see. Sometimes, so it is very light, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, kind of however you really want to look at it. It's very light. It's hull's great, but it does get pushed around by the wind a decent amount, and you'll kind of have that with most aluminum boats. You will get wet in this boat as well. I've noticed, you know, and when I say you get wet, I mean like in a high wind situation that you are probably gonna get wet in anyway. In a fiberglass boat, you're gonna get wet in this boat. We definitely had, let's see, 2 days ago we had 15-mile-an-hour winds, and we were getting kind of wet when we paralleled and kind of mowed into some waves. But that kind of is what it is. I don't think it's, if I had to put a percentage on it, I'd say it would be 15% more probability that you're gonna get splashed by a wave. But you know, we're fishermen, we'd like to go out and do this stuff. Would we like to stay dry? Sure. I don't really consider that a huge negative. Now if it's very cold outside and you get wet, that kind of is unfortunate, but kind of is what it is there. Let's see, other things that I'm not too stoked about. That's about it, honestly. Thing is a great, just to wrap it all up, I highly recommend getting one of these if you're ever thinking about doing it. It's definitely one of my top, it's probably the best buy I have right now. Could not say enough good things about it. I actually talked to one of my buddies at work to get a 2020, and he got a steal of a deal on it, and they're definitely out there. So thank you for clicking on this review. Let me know if you want some more reviews. I do have a shotgun review coming up for a CZ1012, and we're actually going to go fishing today. I haven't wet a line yet, but we're going to be crappie fishing, and I'm going to teach you guys how to catch some crappie, ideally in the springtime, because it is spawn. So thank you for clicking on this one. Hopefully you click on that one if it's around the same time that I release this one. You never really know. But thanks again. Hopefully you like it. Please like it and subscribe if you feel so inclined to. We'll catch you out there on the next one.